in Cote d'Ivoire. And that's the reality.
And a Liberia.
Yeah. And that's the reality. Well, what's the way you can't a year 2 nasa yeah corruption some be so I baby room say oh my Ghana now you're the 43rd position still na one year that's that. And see you share the fight against corruption and then send and saying about Yoko Penny my auntie Tiwa or can say
citizens.
Yes, you na more na yam kuntia katashene proye. Special prosecutor so a press conference. I'm also or kasa bebre. Emma also enwinwin ene ya manema bi wo so. And the deputy attorney general chia ye bo ase. Say corruption ya report to a ebeden and na ye betuma kwatia because ye report nti no and ntumi enkuntia. Ye share in general our fight against corruption as on mine. Na bampena na Addo gina isi see ya nti okubi sa office of the special prosecutor for so be na baso ene said your money correction.
A Johnson na me share say me person read ya the treaty for na chair day and a year.
2 years ago, Ghana has lost fight against corruption, says Emmanuel Wilson.
Good. So this was 2 years ago. The reason why 2 years ago, Crusaders Against Corruption, Yabasa position said we've lost the fight against corruption. Wasn't say Yabo Yitim Yekai.
Okay.
You can based on facts and figures and trend, say the Naniama Akuffo. Debia Yakasa say fighting corruption and shed that said the any rocket science. And then yet say you have to be a professor or whatever to do it. You see, we have best practices. You be share if you want. Intenya fini ababe reinvented the wheel. Fighting corruption in Ghana involve niema miensa pe. Niema miensa. First one, the friend of anti-corruption institutions. Now Ghana had no fairly main kasi you do some person. But fairly we have some anti-corruption institutions so you're committed to integrate me fighting corruption. Some of them Yoko, CID's department, special prosecutor, Shraj, attorney general, auditor general, police service and casa, and a number of them around. Intinka reasonably the enka make us say a ban of anti-corruption institutions are in Kiewo. The second thing the anti-corruption laws. Look, recently you've done some advocacies. Be said there are some laws be to see a passing, but again, fairly, meet me akasenka Ghana there. Inka ye were reasonable anti-corruption laws are existing as you committed to a bit to me abwa amaniema aye. The third one, one the whole problem no the friend will, and I say. Yebekano opepa. And no idea ye lack. We lack the will to fight corruption. And until say thousands of anti-corruption institutions, thousands of anti-corruption laws. Now at the end of the day, we need the commitment and the will to ensure and say these two components in the juma wabre ego. And that is why yetina see analysis 2 years ago. A better ja you who say look, share trend now share commitment and say the Niema Ekeka corner. Absolutely clear. Say the fight against corruption, as far as Ghana is concerned, we have lost it. Now your commitment, it is not necessarily commitment from the citizens. Of course, Obibia, including citizens, Obia will a role to play. But in fighting corruption, the bus stops with the leadership, another leader. In this our jurisdiction be to say Ghana. Now the president only did the executive. We're committing one and we show so many times say a ban of commitment or lacking the commitment in fighting corruption. It means we have lost it. Say omeimu hanmu say na leaders are omo ededa anti-corruption institutions are no. To say CID boss, Yoko boss, Shraj boss, special prosecutor and the rest. Now, omo actions ni inactions, show clearly say, omu nisa opepa na commitment to it. We have lost it.
Then omu yeah, bet you actually say, omu need that commitment to fight the corruption.
Yeah, shall say if he president or no. You see, the first major decision a president it take here Embra Oba Abim 2017 meboa. First major decision to take here had to do with appointments. Or appointing the ministers, appointing his CEOs, whatever, MCs, DCs, and all those things. Or appointment. Major decision. It was based on corruption. Now, corruption, examples of corruption, a lot of people think that bribery penny corruption. There are a number of them. Nepotism is key example of corruption. Nepotism. The decision the president took, the major decision to take here, it was based on nepotism. Nepotism is an example of corruption. So what the president communicated, and they said, make say I want to fight corruption. Mene has contradicted what I wanted to say. The same president, you have given the powers and as a while appointed in Crawford among heady anti-corruption institutions. Yet anytime corruption-related matters especially when it involves the leadership, executive, politician, na better president anima, Kra and son a president no the assembled bema the investigative body and not the bema the relevant anti-corruption institution and our body to so be yen. Kra and son assembly be do and that president are concluded say or GDA say at the end of the day the person involved will be vindicated. Remember, say can corruption perception index. Perception. Exactly. Perception is based on actions and inactions. What do you say? So me bana me betina hanmo na me kasa brel. I'll create a perception say me a calm person, but ebia in reality now I'm not a calm person. Me bana me betina na me kasa me tietie mu kasa. I'll create a perception say me a violent person. Baby cry na me violent. Fi Embra president eteki office. Na corruption perception index. Now you move all the way from 48 down to 43. In fact, 43 was the worst position of the erstwhile administration. Into that was the worst president Beteki. President Beteki 43 no. Na yesu say the fight against corruption we are losing it. To the extent say media is so mugidigido biaka say the former president's administration is corrupt. The reason was because now we have come down all the way to 43. President Beteki office 43. The first corruption perception in the Sebetoja under his administration was 40. Means it moved from 43 to 40. Worse off. Worse. Are you getting it? Indeed, in this dispensation, the worst performance we've ever had, as far as the CPI is concerned, is the 40. And that is under this government. Well, the following year, we decided to Obema Nimuso Kakra. From 40, and we move to 41. Even though it's still below the worst performance of the erstwhile administration. From 41, and we do 43. Hey, you're born same man. Wababi do the worst performance. Unfortunately, Odu 43 for the past 4 years, consistently, Yejina 43. What does it tell us? The past 4 years, when it comes to corruption fight, we have not been able to make any improvements. That's what it tells us. Now, the worst part of it, they say, you're making any improvements, and you say you're making any improvements, but what it means, they say, it is having a serious negative effect, one, on the image of Ghana, and then two, on yenina as citizens are UTR taxes. Say, and second and a third, just about 2-3 days ago, and a 31st by.
Yeah.
Me assure say, and I know Kasi, heads of all anti-corruption institutions, IGP, Tiwa, Iyoko, you can say, OSP, all of them, my job salary. Salary omo yen, and your mom bottom sika no mdom sa shim so mudi to omo ho. Menewo. Yet ya ne eka about how our light enye ejuma. Taxes are you chanke to say street light ejuma. Enubi, and edi to omoka. Practically ye to omoka for no work done for the past 4 years. Practically, what it means is that the taxes are me no year to yano. Enunti say you drive and adjo you sure say you accident because light any man. Yeah, the sad tax me 8 to young worker for no work done. And that is what it is now. Now, Tiwa Ebe and said, citizens must also play a role. I agree perfectly. But as I indicated, the best stops with the leadership. Citizens must play a role. But more leaders, no, say be play a role. Because mo ana yituamoka. Mo na ye mamu those academia tools to work. Crusaders against corruption Ghana sometimes say investigations near. But the bottom line is no one pays us until we two side investigations na limited. CID yetianika. OSP yetianika two side more no limitless. Into the expectation say omo beye ejuma more than the citizens. And yet T1 and na oye head of one of the anti-corruption institutions in Ghana, CID. T1 and also citizens should help in fighting corruption. And yet T1 and Brand no ye head of an anti-corruption institution like the CID's department. Ordinary citizen, Eddie complain, Ebreno. Say, or no citizen no susu say, the two former chiefs of staffs are engaging in corruption and corruption-related matters. Into do an investigation. CID head, Tiwa, citizen and no encourages say they should get involved. No, Bako ba on chain. Or the information ni be buying, then at Tiwa kai. Or catch a complainant and say, I then a case on shena yinjai case because they pursue case no further. A bit bring a bit tarnish the image of the president and the party in power. Are you getting it? So this is the same head of CID. And no head of IOCO. Catch and say citizens must be involved. And yet unyasa opportunity to show or encourage citizens to be involved. No? Then I catch as a citizen. And I hear if it's our case. No? So you see, so this is the same thing. And now me know kasi me sure say IGP nya opportunity oba catch and say, yeah, making sure say citizens say na be fighting corruption. When himself vote buying, vote selling is an act of corruption. Sure. It is even a criminality. If you look at the Ghana's Criminal Code 1960, Section 240, Section 241, specifically, it tells you, say, the one buying and the one selling, they've committed an act of criminality. They've committed an act of corruption. A week ago, and this is recent, and nothing I'm used to because there are so many examples to give, but a week ago, in the presence of policemen, police institutions that say fighting criminality and fighting corruption. In the presence of them, policemen, now Akuffo 32-inch televisions. In the presence of them, in Akuffo fridges. In the presence of them, to the extent that Akuffo plots of land. Plots of land.
Hey, Addo.
Wow. Are you getting it? In the presence of policemen, police who are yedi attacks to omuka are engaging and are their part they are in a anti-corruption institution. It is almost fighting corruption. Into say next IGP, to say the TYA is IGP in Suba. No, because it's citizens Mumbuani and fighting corruption. You think citizens will take them seriously? No, they won't take them seriously. So the thing no any rocket science. Na onko ye opposite. Thinking says citizens are blind. Na se me a citizen. Na ene minimum say edu election time deputy health minister even though gav aban na obi esu say sike ni deputy health minister ebetumi enye scat of 500 motorbikes e dey acheche
motorbike ba kun so be cost more than 15,000.
Can you imagine? Question is onya asase kan wen. Yendi 32-inch television. Make sure pictures of about 3-4 tracks full of television. About 2-3-4 tracks full of fridges. As our fridges, no say you be animal as a shop. Near the fridges, no be go ha. Ebe wholesale shop amobi. Yeah, cheche. Question here: as an MP, Yendi MP, or Parliament, this is the first thing. Yenye calculation. Say, special prosecutor wants us to take him seriously. friend no bisa ne say for the past 4 years o salary ai your calculation ne bisa lifestyle audit bisa ho say sika ahe na wo spend for the past 4 years your entity fee o salary mu any whatever monument a onyane ade sika auditor television set no nya wenfa. That is how we fight corruption. Say opepa no wo ho a Tina Mensa hey wo bra hanamo ona deputy health minister meboa enyamo na mo say ye ni sika as health ministry to buy even bicycles, cheap compound, whatever, to some villages and to some people, just to save people's life. Oh, salary aye. Yenye calculation. Into for the past period, ahina winya. Yen tete sa motorbikes no. Yen calculate. O say back be 15,000 meboa. Yenye calculation 15,000 by 500. Now, enumpono, and just the day of election. Between time of starting the campaign, see the day of election, we are not talking of a spending. Now, yen sister, na yen bisa yen who say, Sasikano unya wenfa. This is the work of Ioko. I mean, the work of CID. This is the work of special prosecutor. And this at the end of the day, your mamu to me, you tuamoka with your taxes, samunye juma. Now, more deliberately. More collaborating with people who are engaging in it. Now more turn around, ebe catch citizens. Say citizens, mumbwani and fight corruption. You think citizens will take them seriously? I don't think so. To say you be do some pen so you be say, look, what we need is the commitment. One of the reasons, and that is what I personally think, the reason why you to me move under the SWAL administration to 48 corruption perception index, 48. One of the reasons. Remember, we are still talking about perception. One of the reasons. Okay, I said it was under the SWAL administration. Anna, corruption-related matters, ye allow we call quota and ye jelly on one appointee back on. Abu Gapili, yeah. You know what that means? You are deepening the perception, say, oh, you're committed when it comes to fighting corruption. To the extent, say, me cry ye me appointee impono. Say me who say we engage in corruption, I will allow say me you soon as scapegoats. You think say deep within your heart. You think say na President John Mahama ye jelly on one. Oh, the influence say so any party member and put no na down from pokeka. You think say you'll be happy? No, but you created that perception. Say me the ma bind there mean so proyeso. That is the perception. Question I you sir. Obi mami one single act of the president of Ghana, the current president of Ghana, a creative perception. Say, or you're committed to fighting corruption.
So say issues in the back cases in the bar or than the relevant authorities are or mana mandate on some mobile sansimunum to CID Yoko blah blah mutumu or danimo and tis or danimo we are say when we should be
say me appoint you to work. Say you pull. Your number one allegiance is towards the one who appointed you.
Sure.
The president. Say you kasi, we want independent institutions. What it means is devoid of influences from the so-called higher authorities. Say Bekaya, there were two reasons in Tia. You have the first special prosecutor of Ghana, Martin Amidu, resigned here. Two reasons. Ononoka. Bako, a lack of resources. Second one, or see influences. Interferences. Two, are you getting it? Now, say, okay, me the idea ma say investigation. Now me fact behind the scene, now me find the way of influencing and interfering with you. Am I committed to fighting it? And a typical example. President input there, Crown Point and or the assembly or the idea say investigation. No, they about to get concluded that. In Kenya, Sanke, investigation again starts here. You are confident to say so at the end of the day, you are sure say the person will be vindicated. Are you getting the point? So at the end of the day, the person will be vindicated. It is not the referring and it matters. What matters is whether or not the president or you're committed to allowing the institution to work. And clearly, on try and say, or you're committed to that. So what try and pass or you're committed to that. Look at cases like Cecilia Adapa's case. And many others. And yet then, now you expect, say, special prosecutor, ebe to me akọ court akọ ye de so you na at the end of the day ye jailing Cecilia Adapa and finding her guilty. You think the special prosecutor can do that? Especially Embrekwa, the one who appointed him, you know, has already given the conclusion of the matter. I got the case there, Cecilia Adapa on song. And no wonder, take time, now analyze it, the whole process, investigation process, throughout Cecilia Adapa case. You will realize, right from day one, special prosecutor, and that is my perception, and I'm convinced of that. Special prosecutor started say obe deliberately obe create legal loopholes and lapses.
Samum.
Which case no they call court are your two case ne ya legally national session you will say the court erred. Tell me. You tell me. Ana empo say you no krempo say o ye confidence say asema de call court no. The court erred. We have appeal. With me appeal any of the cases. Are you getting it? Has he been able to appeal a single case out of the Akko court? Only to go to court of competent jurisdiction. Now kunya asemna nko yama na owo chance to appeal. You rather come to the public domain and be crying. Who told you court of public opinion is what we use to fight corruption? Who tells you that? And no wonder the special prosecutor case, you know, like the bottom line is this. Till say ye benya individuals are committed, show the commitment to fight corruption. Ye bregu because the institutions they are there. The how do you call it? Laws no they are there. Now, then as a papa say fight corruption. Individuals are more track record or much say they can fight corruption. We are not making them the heads of the various institutions. Obi bisasa our question. And yet then are people like Domilevo, you to me frustrating in here unifi honomo. On the same ground that a Nigerian boss at honomo. I mean, are you getting the point? Does it make sense? On the same ground. Some papa say we are committed to fighting corruption. Look, any serious jurisdiction a person fighting corruption bia inka tiwa embro ye CID head. Sani tape ebeto oja say she is rather encouraging corruption, you know. Inka that moment na can say or resign. And yet what did the president do? You move numu to go and head Iyoko. Are you serious in this country?
Divine. What's here Wilson I just said ni na be mabu.